Cancer, you've entered the house of Sigils. Welcome in. This reading will be for Cancer, Sun, Moon, Rising, or Venus. At the end, we will pull a secret language of the darkness and secret language of the light to balance out the reading in this series. Cards have already been shuffled. I'm going to divide the deck into two piles. Left-hand pile will retrieve from the top your yin energy, top and bottom. Right-hand pile will retrieve top and bottom the yang energy. I've already called in spirit. I've already cleansed the space. Cards have been shuffled. Crystal ball is in front of me. If you see anything, please let me know in the comments. Cancer. Let's see what's going on. The Five of Swords. The Five of Swords. It's a card of air, card of defeat, card of thoughts, card of turning thoughts inward, right? Card of injuring the self in a way. I can imagine that there is an aspect of your life that feels like it has been shattered, or that has become fractaled, if that's a word, but turned into shapes that are unpleasing. And your external surroundings have become a place where thoughts are created that are pushed inward. You're blaming yourself, possibly. You are re-examining your current situation. You're wondering if you've made the right decision, possibly. Let's look into the Five of Swords a little deeper. We always need a teacher. So this is Venus in Aquarius energy, and it very well could be that you're a solar Cancer with a Venus in Aquarius, or that you're a Cancer moon with a Venus in Aquarius. This energy is the fear of loss or defeat, the fear of a painful situation or experience, right? The message here with the Five of Wands is that yes, fear dominates the moment, right? For whatever it is. And the body doesn't know what's real and what isn't. So there could be thoughts of fearful situations, right? There may not actually be anything to fear in reality, but your own mind is turning your thoughts inward, telling your body that the situation is real, right? But drawing this card tells me that you're ready to see the fears for what they are. You're ready to take a look at them because something is off and you can sense it and you know it. You're ready to see that fear is irrational in nature. It doesn't necessarily reflect the real situation. But you're ready now, by recognizing that, you're ready to free up that part of you that has been sort of hijacked in a way, right? Your thoughts have been hijacked by your mind, right? Your mind is creating thoughts that are hijacking your spirit and not letting your light shine. But now that you recognize that, you're free to unbound that fear. You may have this feeling that things are slipping out of your control, that things are out of hands, or out of your hands. But it's important to remember that it's an illusion. Seeing it, understanding it, accepting it, letting go, sets you free. Absolutely sets you free from that. I'm interested to see what pops up here. Let's take a look at whatever the situation is for you, right? Whether it's a relationship or work or leaving a relationship or starting new after leaving a relationship. Remember, this is Cancer, Sun, Moon, Rising, or Venus, so you could have a placement in any of those, which this might speak to you in that sense. So Venus and Aquarius energy as well. Let's look at what you're expressing and showing of yourself outward. What is your effect you're having on others and how you're influencing your environment. So the Moon card. the dark, scary forest, right? This is a card of moving through those illusory fears that you have about whatever your thoughts are creating, right? This is a card of going through that dark night of the soul, going and not skipping it, right? Taking the necessary steps through that dark side of self, through the shadow work, and coming out victorious after what you fear is defeat. Let's take a closer look at the moon. So I always like to have a little bit of a guide. The moon, Pisces, a final testing. You've taken wrong turns, there have been illusions, you're burning off karma, burning off old situations, interactions or struggles with the subconscious, right? What we've just said, the thoughts, the threshold of new levels of consciousness. So we see here a waning moon, right? It's in the process of diving further into and deeper into the darker realms of the soul, right? A time of final and most often difficult testing. You have to remember your goal, what you started out with before you started this process, which whatever it is, perhaps leaving a bad relationship or a bad job situation or living situation. You have to remember what your goal was in getting out, right? You have to remember the positivity that you looked for, that you remembered from the past. But the danger is forgetting that true goal, because the darkness is great. There's going to be temptations, illusory perceptions that'll lurk in the darkness along the way, sort of ready to tear you down, right? So you want to be careful as you move through, because we don't want to let these thoughts actually defeat us as we're moving through this dark night of the soul, right? This card also is a representation of the female sexual and birth organs, or the vagina. So very possibly there's something going on there, whoever this reading might be for. But just know that going through this process without trying to bypass it is going to lead you through a gateway to a new way of living, to a new, whatever that happens or might be for you, whether that's moving or a new relationship or a new work situation. But the key here is that you can't pass this by. This has to happen, and people probably can see it. They can tell that you're going through the struggles. You're really feeling it. The struggle is real. And maybe you've shared things with people that are allowing them to see it, which is giving you even more of those inward stabbing sword thoughts, right? Let's look a little bit at, let's gain a little more clarity, hopefully, at what you are receptive to. So what people, energies, and events that you're currently attracting, knowing that you're going through this process right now. The Six of Cups. So pleasure. It could very well be that you are attracting things that make you feel better. With the Six of Cups, the Six of Cups are always very positive, right? This is an indication, though, that you can see a little bit of the sky, the sky and the water in the background there are a little bit dark and a little bit murky. What I'm picking up on is that with this pleasure card, this Six of Cups, which is a positive card, is that you're seeking certain things that give you pleasure because you are afraid to continue or to step into this journey through the dark night of the soul, through the dark, scary forest, right? Let's look a little bit closer, give us a little bit more clarity. Six of Cups here. So this is very much Sun in Scorpio. Enjoyment, pleasure in sexual relationships, rich external exchange of sexual and heart energy, and emotional renewal, right? So these are the things that you want. But I can't help but think that it's premature. some of those pleasures just create more of this problem, of these defeating thoughts, of these self-defeating swords, right? Without going through this process, or that you're seeking these pleasurable experiences without actually putting in the work. But it's the fear of defeat is being overcome 100%, only temporarily though, right? The internal healing has to be done. Yes, you do need to enjoy everything that life gives you right now. Absolutely, 100% enjoy those positive things that come to you, right? And the best way to do that is to express the gratitude of the things that you have. You're alive, you have a place to live. Maybe you have children that are with you. Maybe you have a great job. Maybe you all have all these positive things, and you should enjoy those things, right? But temper those things and know that you can't bypass this journey through the forest. But then also another message coming through is that you very possibly could be holding on to old beliefs that are, and in the present, that are preventing you from real pleasure, right? Which are creating more of those things. Like, I don't know that I can do this. The task is too daunting. The old way of living is more comfortable, so I'm just going to go back to that way, right? That's more of this attitude here. So we don't want to slip back into the 5 after we hit the 6, right? But we're going to if we aren't willing to make that journey of transformation through the towers, right? Through the dark, scary forest, through the dark night of the soul. But enjoy the emotional wealth that you do have and share it with others. And if you do have someone that you can share that with, that's fantastic. Doesn't mean it's sexual in nature, it could be platonic. Let's look at the key. This could give us, or reaffirm the things we've already spoken about. This could give us a way in which we overcome the problem actively, or how we, could suggest a way around or out of it. And that is through works. That is through the 3 of Pentacles, right? So we have Capricorn energy, right? And we can see that we have a balance of the 3. We know that the ones, the aces, are the pure inspiration of the element. So the pure inspiration of the discs, or the 3 of Pentacles, is the Ace of Pentacles, right? The inspiration of Earth. Then we have the 2, which embodies the Earth, asking us to make that physical change in the material plane. And then 3 is how we do it. The 3 is how we come to those changes and how we move through that energy of the 3. And let's take a deeper dive into the 3 of Pentacles to gain some more insight. So this is Mars in Capricorn. See the Mars symbol there, the Capricorn symbol there. This is work and toil, gradual process, duty to oneself. So you can't just skip through the dark night of the soul. You have to put in the work to heal, right? You have to put in the work to get rid of the thoughts. But it's gradual, and you have a duty to yourself to do it. And by skipping it, and going straight to pleasure, you are doing yourself a disservice. You actually have to put in the work to move through the process. But the 3 indicates full employment of all your energies into the situation. And what this situation is, whether it's a relationship, work, living situation, it's demanding all of your energies and demanding that you're ready and engaged, and that you're totally in it. But don't be discouraged, because it's worth it. Speaking from experience, going through my own dark night of the soul a few times in my life, absolutely is worth it each and every time. Is it tough? Yes. Does it fill you with incredible emotion and despair and defeating thoughts? Yes. But it can be incredibly, and usually is incredibly, healing. But you have to put in the work to do it. And where are you holding back in those areas? Like, you may have been moving through the process, but you're holding back on some key thing or information or conversation that needs to happen, right? So for you to fully release and engage, right? For you to fully be the person that you are and that you want to grow into. So find out and become aware of it and move through the energy and do the work. Because you're ready to fully give everything and receive everything that is needed and required to move through this energy. Let's get you a secret language of the darkness card. These have already been shuffled. I'm going to pull one out of the middle and we'll lay it down. We have integrity. And it really, inside integrity, it really speaks about whatever that final thing is, whatever that testing is, it's going to require integrity. And to be able to use your voice and talk about what things you need to process and what things need to come to the light. 42, integrity. Loyalty to the innermost truth, right? Loyalty to that oneself. Loyalty to the darkness and the lightness of it all. In the quiet moments, when there are no distractions and we have only ourselves for company, honest feelings, reflections, hopes, and fears can stir into consciousness. Any unease or worry that you may have been ignoring can suddenly become loud and present. This card suggests you've been avoiding the quiet moments. That's exactly what we're talking about. As there is a self-truth you aren't keen on tackling. Take a breath and draw on your courage. It's time to have an honest conversation with yourself so you can be free from this energy zapping avoidance. Integrity is not just about you. When you lie to yourself, you lie to others. When you aren't honest with yourself, can you expect others to be honest with you? Have you promised yourself you would or wouldn't do something but let yourself down? If someone else continually broke their word, you would stop trusting them. Perhaps you are avoiding yourself as you feel unsettled, guilty, or disappointed that you haven't achieved, overcome, or completed, or committed to something you had set your mind on. Be gentle with yourself. It's okay. Instead of making promises that can perpetuate self-doubt, 6 to 5, and diminish your faith in yourself, listen to and support your whole self. Honor your word to love and cherish your past. Your past, your present, and your future selves. And your integrity will strengthen naturally. Enough said. That's perfect. Let's get you a secret language of the light card. Soul love. 3. This card has popped up a few times as well. Soul love. And I can already tell it's going to be fitting. Unconditional love. You are clear, pure love. Nothing from your past. This is what we've been talking about. Nothing from your past will block your dreams. Your future will be nothing like what has been before. You are at the center of your universe, looking outward through your experiences. When you look out in balance, you are seeing through love and will experience many variations of love. Make love your purpose. Find it wherever you can. If you begin to introduce anything to your world that does not feel like love, shift your awareness to your world shift your awareness, your energy, and your eyes until you return to love. Become so devoted to your purpose of love that no one will sway you from it. Unconditional love is not about tolerating or diminishing yourself to make others feel good. These are unconditional actions that will make you feel less or resentful. If you are trying to believe something that is not your truth, it will feel awful because you are not in agreement with your soul. Your job is to find balance in every moment. If you can't, go easy, and go easy on yourself, as it is just a sign that you are yet to love something about yourself. another perfect message that speaks about everything we've been talking about. Having an integrity to understand that you have to move through this dark night of the soul to defeat these inward pointing thoughts, to come to true pleasure. But don't seek out the momentary pleasures. You have to do the work. You have to do the work. And you have to understand that work has to align with your soul, not what other people's believe another person believes it should be, or other people believe it should be. So Cancer, I am going to leave it at that. Please leave a comment down below if any of this resonates. If it doesn't, leave it behind. Let me know if you saw anything, if your intuition brought you any messages. And like, share, and subscribe. It's a new channel. But remember, please keep your sigil of protection close at hand, should the darkness decide to answer the call.